Hi, everyone. We are now live on our real estate webinar. Thank you for joining in. We're just giving a couple of minutes just for people to join in, but you are all welcome. Once you join in, let us know where you are joining us from. Thank you. Okay, I've seen a lot of people in. Thank you for taking the time to join in. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring on stage Lilia Hansen from Ghana Union. She is the one that has given us the opportunity to really bring this real estate webinar to you. So she'll give a quick intro and then I will come back. But my name is Esty and I'll be the host for this evening. Hi, Lilia. You are on mute.
Hi, AC.
So I'll give you the floor to give a quick introduction, just 1-2 minutes, and then we can start.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, AC. As you rightly said, my name is Lilia Hansen, and I'm the chair lady of Ghana Union Luton. We are a group of Ghanaians. Some are non-Ghanaian because of marriages and stuff like that. But we meet every month for socialization, basically, because there's too much stress in this country. So our main reason why we established ourselves is to, from time to time, we call it adult conversation. We just sit there, have fun, from time to time, and then when we get knowledgeable people who are just like yourselves, who have gathered this evening and have good information for us, we get people together to also listen and take something from it. So when we were introduced to AC, we decided at our meeting that we will bring AC and her group of property investors to come in and give us a talk. It's like it's going to be a give and take, basically. Everybody will be asking questions if you have any, and also we will listen to them as well. The main reasons are that as Ghanaians, we always want to go back home at some point in our lives. And so already some of us have made properties in Ghana, and we have gone through so many people, some are family members who have given us really tough times with our properties. And we don't want to be prejudiced about or have any negativity about building a house in Ghana. And so if we get people who are knowledgeable like yourselves, and you know your job, and you have also lived in England, still living in England, and you know how people are suffering to earn whatever money they get to build houses in Ghana or make properties in Ghana, to give us a talk like this, I feel we are privileged. And also I feel you will be trustworthy for our members to also listen to and gain great information from yourselves, and also be able to continue whatever they want to do in Ghana.
Yeah.
Another reason why I also or we also allowed this talk to happen is that we are the older generation. The younger ones are also springing up. They go to Ghana for, dirty December. They want to have a place to put their heads. Some go
Yes.
in Airbnbs. They earn really good money, and they can make it happen if they want to have their own flat or a
Absolutely.
house. We will also pass this information to them as well. And we talk a lot as moms and dads. They hear us saying, "Oh, what did you do with that money? You were supposed to buy the roofing sheets." But if we have somebody or people like yourselves who can do it for us without stressing us out and they can
It's
rely
life
on you,
easier.
I think they will be able to also do what they want to do. So thank you very much. I think my 5 minutes is over now. It's even over.
No,
11.
thank you so much, Lilia. Thank you. Of course, I'm very grateful for the opportunity given me by you and your team, really to utilize my platform, Prop Rent Sale, to really support them in going to buy or invest in property in Ghana. So yes, thank you once again. But I'll just for starters, my name is Essie. Let me just My name is Essie from PropRentSale. And I'll just put this question out. I was just doing a research, and it says that, do you know that Ghana's property investment, particularly in Accra, of course, offer higher rental yields or ROE, return on investment, compared to the UK? That's something you can look into, especially in the last 10 years. But yes, who are we at PropRentSale? Just a quick 5 minutes introduction, who we are really. So the name of the company is PropRentSale. I know for the purposes of today, if you have any questions in the course of any of the presentations, please in the comment section, I don't know where you are joining us from, whether from Facebook or the YouTube link, just put your questions in the comments and I'll do my best to put the questions out there to the experts that will be joining us. We'll have experts from Access Bank, and I'll introduce them later, and then also Debbie from Whitewall Property. But yes, so PropRentSale, who are we? What do we do? Number one, we help you to buy property in Ghana, and we have a large portfolio of properties. We help you to rent your properties once you've bought them. We help you to sell your property and then also to manage your property. And of course, how do we do this? We do this by partnering with trusted and vetted developers, and then also partnering with reliable financial institutions. Example, today we have Access Bank here. And then we work with law enforcers or Ghana Land Commission as well to ensure that you are on the right path. And we support you through the end-to-end buying process. And the most important thing too is we have access to good discounts. What can you buy? Apartments, studios, 1 to 2, 3 bedrooms, townhouses, hotel apartments. I know Debbie will go into detail on this one, but there is a portfolio, and this short 1 hour is not enough to go through all the developments that we have available. But our contact details will be put up so that you can always contact us. Then the what and where can you rent? If you are a holiday maker going to Ghana, especially summer coming or Easter, Christmas time, we do have also a portfolio of properties for short stay and long term as well for those who are expats looking to move to Ghana. So, and there are prime locations, whether in Accra, Kumasi, or just send us your budget and we will help you with your rentals. How do we help you to sell? If you have a property and you want to sell, number one, you can leverage on we make sure that we have targeted marketing and exposure of your property. Then you can utilize our network of local and international buyers as well, so that at least you know that your property can go quicker. It is also a hassle-free selling process. We help you. As Lydia mentioned, even though, yes, I am based in the UK, I do understand those living in the diaspora and what it takes to buy property. I know there are different people joining, whether Ghanaians or so I'll bring in a little bit of tree, but wow. And then, of course, we help you with strategic pricing and negotiation as well, so that you make sure that you position that property in the best bracket for sale. And then lastly, the end-to-end support and legal guidance. Like I said, we partner with the right team. How do we help you to manage your property if you wanted to manage it? We help you with the tenant sourcing and screening, property marketing, again, pricing, strategy, and lease management, property maintenance. So it depends what you want. We will tailor it to your needs. And we help to also maximize your returns. So you can see I'm trying to really go through this very quickly. But anyone joining in now, you are welcome. How are you going to reach out to Prop Rent Sale? We have a website. It's as simple as Prop Rent Sale, property rental sales. It's proprentsale.com. We are on YouTube. If you're on our YouTube link now, please do subscribe. Then Instagram, TikTok, and then our contact numbers are also available. But book your free consultation, and then we can walk you through the portfolio of properties that we have. Thank you. Once again, if you just joined in, thank you. I'm going to introduce our next guest that we have, which is Priscilla Darcy from Access Bank, and she is going to give a little presentation on how you can access finance in Ghana. This is an expert. I know both our guests that we have here today, they are so busy. They have an event, but I've managed to get them. So you can see that I'm really pushing things through. But please sit back, get ready, and be informed. Hi,
Hi,
Priscilla.
Izzy. Hi, everyone. Good
This
evening.
is Priscilla Dazi from Access Bank. And I'll leave you to do the
Yes.
quick introduction for yourself.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then when you're ready, I'll bring
Thank
your
you,
presentation.
AC. And
You're welcome.
yes. Okay. Good evening to everyone. Can I be heard? My name
Yes,
is
clearly.
Priscilla Darcy. I work with Access Bank. I handle mortgages and diaspora banking stuff at Access Bank. That's a brief about me and what I do at Access Bank. So this evening, I'm just going to take you through as quickly as possible on our mortgage loans. So it covers a variety of types of mortgages. So we have the AC. You can go to the next slide. Okay, so typically somebody might ask, what is a mortgage? AC, go to the next, please. Okay, so a mortgage is essentially, okay, I didn't put the there, sorry. So it's essentially you want to take a loan from a bank or a financial institution, or I mean any institution that's in a position to provide you with funding to purchase a property. And well, it becomes a mortgage when you use that property as security. That's just the simple definition of a mortgage. We have various types of mortgages. That's we have the equity release, we have the off-plan mortgage, we have the diaspora mortgage. So you can go to the next. Then we have then we have the home purchase. So I'll quickly go through. The home purchase is when you want to buy a property outright. So let's say there's an existing property that you've seen that you want to buy. So that's an outright purchase, and that's a home purchase. It can also be a property that you live in that you've been renting for a while. So you tell the owner that, okay, I'm interested in buying the property, and then they say, okay, fine, I can sell it to you as home purchase. And then you come to the bank and say that, prepare a mortgage for me to be able to buy the property. Then we have the equity release. The equity release also is for properties that are owned by yourself. So if assuming you have a property that you already own, that you live in it or you don't live in it, or you've given it out for rental, you can bring it to the bank and say that, okay, I own this property and I want to release equity from the property. So that's they'll give you a percentage of the costs of the property. So assuming it was, let's say, £100,000, and you say, okay, Access Bank, I want equity release, then we will say we'll give you 50% of the value of the property. And then you can also use that to finance yourself. You can use it for, I mean, other things, maybe medicals, you have education, your what's education that you're doing, or even purchase another property. So that's for equity release. Then we have the off-plan property, off-plan mortgage. So the off-plan mortgage is for completion and milestones. So um, projects that are currently under construction. So they haven't been completed yet. So what we'll do is we disperse the loan in tranches. So somebody you say, okay, at foundation will pay 20% to the developer. At this stage, you pay another 20%, and then maybe at the completion stage, you release the balance to the developer. So that's the off plan. Those are for properties under construction. Then we have the diaspora home loans. The diaspora home loan covers all three of the different types of mortgages that I've described. The only difference is that you are a Ghanaian, but you are non-resident in Ghana, and then you apply for a mortgage in Ghana. So that's the only difference. So the fact that you're not in Ghana, that's the only difference, really. AC, you can go to the next. So for us at Access Bank, the basic requirements are a completed mortgage application form. We'll need 3 months pay slip from your existing account. So your existing account, in this case, abroad. Then you have 6 months pay slip, and then you have bank statements. And then we'll take a letter of understanding from your employer. So in this case, we will not take a letter of understanding because you're in the diaspora. We'll take your contract letter from your employer. So just to confirm that you are in permanent employment and you've been working for so and so number of years. And then we'll take a clean credit report. That's from any of the credit bureaus. So you can take it from TransUnion, Equinox, Equifax. Then we'll take a copy of the title document. So this we would ask from the developer or whoever you're buying from. It can be a developer or maybe somebody who's willing to sell their property to you. We'll take a copy of the title documents, and then we'll conduct a search on the property being purchased to be sure that it's unencumbered and there are no issues, so that we know that our money is going to the right place. And then we'll require you to make payment of 20% of the total cost of the property. I know that for most developers, they take a certain percentage. So that becomes your equity contribution. You don't have to necessarily bring the money to Access Bank. You can, I mean, pay to the developer or whoever directly, and then all you have to do is just show us evidence of the payment. But this does not apply for equity release mortgages. That one, there's no equity contribution because you already own the property and you're releasing equity from it. Then we'll take a valid national ID. So for even if you're Ghanaian and you're non-resident in Ghana, we'll take card plus your British passport. Then we'll take one passport size photograph. Then we would have a credit life insurance property, credit life insurance on yourself. We'll take a credit life insurance on yourself as well as the property, just against to ensure the property against fire and allied perils. And then we'll take a letter from the vendor indicating the purchase price and the purchase term. So that's what some people call the sale and purchase agreements. So these are the basic things we'll take from you. Some of them, for those of you in the diaspora, we don't take the originals yet. For the pre-approval, we will take copies of the documentation. And then after the loan is approved, we'll need you to notarize the documents as we have listed. So you take it to a notary public, it, and then together send you the offer letter. Then you can mail these documents, the notarized documents, together with the signed offer letter back to us. You don't have to be physically present in Ghana. We can do all of this whilst you're still there and have all of that sorted out for you. AC, next slide. Okay, so in terms of pricing, all costs in the registration is borne by yourself, who is the applicant. So in this case, the stamp duty, the any administrative charge that if it's the stamp, you pay for that, you pay for the stamp duty, you pay for the registration. All of that is borne by you. There are some of the okay Basing your question, I'll quickly complete and then I will thank you. So there are some fees like the title registration which we cannot predetermine. So those are determined by the Lands Commission. So when it gets there, and then they tell us that okay, you have to pay XYZ amount. But things like stamp duty and then the search fees are all borne by yourself. The bank doesn't pay. Then for our lending rates at Access Bank, for our dollar lending rates is 11% per annum. We currently, I know that most properties in Ghana are quoted in dollars. So we also disburse in dollars. It doesn't mean that when you earn in pounds, you cannot submit your funds in pounds, but we will receive it dollars into your account. So that's very possible. So we offer 11% per annum currently. And I can tell you, AC can also confirm that we are about the cheapest on the market currently. So we are your best bets as we speak. So that's essentially about it. Those are the nitty gritties of mortgages with Access Bank. AC, can I go on to answer Leila's question? Hello, can I be heard?
Yes, you can. You can go ahead.
Okay, so can you be given a mortgage
I'll put
loan
the
if you
question
don't have
there.
an account? Yes, you can. Absolutely. You don't have to be in Ghana to, physically open an account. So what we do is we send a scanned copy of our account opening, and then you add your Ghana card and a copy of your passport, and then you can send us a scanned picture of yourself, and then we use that to open an account for you in Ghana. You will need to have an account because it is through that account that we will process your loan, and that is where you will see all the transactions is for processing your transactions. So you need an account. But if you don't have an account, it's very easy to open an account without physically being present in Ghana. And for those who don't have card, what we do sometimes we defer the Ghana card for when you're in Ghana, and then we have an agent at NCA that can facilitate the Ghana card processing, so you don't have a problem at all. You're welcome, Leila.
That's
So
good to
AC,
know.
that will be all. I'm done.
Thank you so much, Priscilla. I think Priscilla has said a lot. And just from what I've gathered, that means that if you are in the diaspora, really, with the explanation you've given, that means that it's very similar to the process we have in the UK in terms of the requirements and everything. There's not much of a difference. So,
Mm,
those of us in the diaspora, you can tell it's very simple. She's clearly stated it. Is nothing difficult or nothing hidden in there. But yes,
yeah.
please send in your comments or your questions, and I will read them out to the guests. But because of time, I'm just going to introduce. But thank you again, Priscilla. Because of time, I'm going to bring on Debbie. Let me just check if Debbie is ready. I'll bring her on stage, and then Debbie will also go through the whole buying process, all about the property types and everything in Ghana. Okay. Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Essie.
Are you ready? I know that you are on your way to an event, so we
Yes, I'm
pardon
ready.
you. So for
I'm
everyone
ready.
watching, this is Debbie from Whitewall Properties. Like I said, both of them are very busy. They have an event today, but we've just managed to get to them. So Debbie, without wasting so much time, I will allow you to start off.
Okay. Hi. Good evening, everyone. And I want to say sorry that I'm not sitting behind a PC or projecting the presentation, but as AC said, we are going to have a conversation about the property market in Ghana. Um, I wouldn't narrow it to a specific property, but just to take you through how you can comfortably get into the property market in Ghana. So I'm Debbie from White Wall Properties. I'm head of marketing and business development at White Wall Properties, and I'm here to answer your questions and to let you know that the Ghana market is very safe. We've all been hearing about how the property market in Ghana is currently um, booming and improving, and it's a very good investment. Um, Investment that you can look at to give you extra money. First of all, how do you get into the property market in Ghana? Most people come to Ghana, they buy land and the rest, and then they are building on it. But we hear a lot of stories about I bought the land and it was somebody else had bought it, and family issues and all that. So today I would want to walk you through how you can secure your land, or you can buy a safe land. If not 100%, at least you would have about 90% certainty that this land that I'm buying is is going to be problem free. First of all, before you buy a land, you have to know your budget. Or before you buy a property, you have to know your budget first. Then you look for the location that you would want to buy from. So that one, I think that AC would be able to help you with that. If you give her your budget and the locations that you are looking for, she would be able to help you with that. Then, secondly, when she gives you the selection of properties, we advise that you do a search. You do a search at Lands Commission, because every property in Ghana, every legal property in Ghana has been registered at Lands Commission. So if you do the search, you pay and you do an official search, not the over the counter search, but an official search. It helps you with two things. First of all, it helps you to know the true ownership of the land or of the property. So you get to know who owns the property. Secondly, even in future, if there is an issue and it goes to court, you're able to prove to court that you did due diligence. That makes your case very easy to win in court. So that is the first thing. You go to Lands Commission and you do a search. It will bring out the history of the property that you are buying. It will tell you whether it even has a mortgage on, whether they've used it for loan, whether there's a litigation, or whether it's in court. All that will come out if you do an official search on the property. After you've gotten the official search, then you can now look at the the ID card of the owners, the name that comes on the official search. You look for the ID card and compare with it, so that you know that you are dealing with the right people. This is very important. If it's a company, at least request to see the company's registration or something. Just know that you are dealing with the right person. Payment should be made to the people that you are dealing with, not to anybody, not to an agent, not to a third party, not to family members. Have proof. This is what I have done. You can have a record of what you are dealing with. Then after you've done that, then we start with this. You go through the sales and purchase agreement. You go through all that. Yes, sometimes you need a lawyer, especially if you are dealing with land. You need a lawyer because it's the lawyer that would help you to go through the documentation in terms of doing your deed and all that, letting you know what type of ownership you are even going to get. Is it going to be a sublease? Is it going to be an assignment? A lawyer will take you through all that, will let you know how many years you are getting from this property, and all those things. A lawyer would be able to take you through that. But if you are buying for a company like, say, White Wall or something, because we already have lawyers on board, we normally would do all that work for you. And because we have the integrity. We have our integrity to maintain. You hardly have those issues. But if you are dealing with individuals, I would always advise that if you are going to spend, say, $50,000 to buy a land, spending about $2,000 or $3,000 to pay a lawyer should not scare you, so that you will not come back saying that I had I bought the property, I've paid 50%, and I cannot find the people, or the documentation is not going through. It's the same lawyer too that would help you to get all your land registered, from land commission to land title, to help you with all your properties. Secondly, please beware of good deals. I always tell people that good deals are very scary in Ghana. So someone will come and say that a place that they are selling properties for about $100,000, someone will say bring, say, $60,000 to come and get it. Please beware of good deals, because good deals always have a but. So please be very cautious of good deals. Even if you get a good deal, I would advise that then get a lawyer to look through the good deal well, to make sure that they represent you well, so that you will dot your I's and cross your T's, and will not have too much issues at the end of the day. Secondly, if you buy your property, most people will buy their property, they will get the deed, and then they think that they are okay with it. No, you are not okay with it. I would advise that pay the stamp duty and get your land title. That is the only time you can prove full ownership of the land. Don't just say that, oh, okay, I bought the land, they gave me the deed, and okay, so I am okay with it. No, please pay a little bit more, pay your stamp duty, and then get your land title, and know that in case of anything, you can prove that you registered the property first. Don't just leave it there thinking that I got the deed from the landlord or the homeowner, so that is final. Secondly, when you get your land title and you are going to let people live on your land, in Ghana we have this law that says that if someone lives on your property for 17 years, I mean, it's a little bit technical, but when they live on your property for about 17 years, they can claim ownership of it if you don't have contracts with them that you gave them the permission. So if you're even going to let a caretaker stay on a land that you bought, sign a contract with them, so that they will not be able, and you know that you are not ready to develop your land, but you've given just a small portion for them to put their properties on. Please sign a contract with them. Even if you are not taking anything for that, at least let them, even if it's just 5 cedis they will pay monthly, have that record, so that in case of anything, when they go back to court, and now the caretakers are being very smart, because they know we have that law in Ghana where they can claim, they can do adverse possession. They know that one. They start being very smart about it and try to claim land. So just have that agreement with them. Tell them pay 5 cedis just to show that you are renting the place and all that, so that in future you would be able to have good evening, so that in future you'll be able to have the record to show that they are just caretakers on the land. AC, I'm also available for all the questions that would come in. If there are any questions that are any point that I have missed out, please let me know, so that I can bring in, just chip in, and then I would
absolutely
just
fine.
yeah.
I think you've given a lot of nuggets so far. And of course, knowing your budget first, do your search first. But the question that I'll ask is, so what are the types of properties that one can buy in Ghana? And have we lost Debbie? So whilst we wait for Debbie to come back, so these are some of the things that Debbie from Whitewall has mentioned. Number one, if you're going to purchase in Ghana, know your budget first. I think it makes it much easier for any real estate agent to even work with you. Do your search first as well. Do the official one. Pay a little and get the search done. Payment must not be done to any third party. Make sure you are dealing with the right person or the right people who own whether the developer or anyone. Just make sure you are paying to the right person. What else did Debbie say? Spend money on a lawyer. I think that's the bit that gets a lot of people, and we end up getting bitten. Spend a little money on a lawyer to save you a huge cost in future. So that one is very key. She gave an example. If it's $50,000 you are spending 2,000-3,000 pounds on a lawyer is nothing in comparison. Debbie, do we have you back? Okay, so it looks like Debbie. So what I'm going to do is, whilst Debbie tries to come back in, Priscilla, if you are ready, I'll bring you back on. I have a couple of questions here for you to answer, and then when Debbie, when you are back, you can alert me. Let me just read a question that has come through. Let me be sure. Okay, Priscilla.
Okay, see, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. So the question that I have here is, can two people apply for a mortgage together, whether it's spouses, business partners, or family members? Can two people apply together?
Yes, absolutely. Two people can apply for a mortgage, whether your spouse, your friends, your sisters, even work colleagues. You can just agree to apply for mortgage. But once you agree, one of the very things you have to note is, once you agree that you're going to a joint mortgage between yourselves, you have to sign a contract, because in as much as it makes
Okay.
the mortgage application very smooth, it also
Mm-hmm.
has its own complications, in the sense that, okay, so one, I can talk about the benefits. So I mean, if one of you has a lower credit and the higher has a better credit score, what happens is it increases it better, it makes the other the credit scores own better, as in it increases your chances of, for the lower person with the, I mean, for the person with the lower. Also, it makes your borrowing capacity bigger, in the sense that if you by yourself, you said that you were going to purchase a property for, let's say, £50,000. If you applied with, I mean, another person, if it was a joint application, then you get to contribute 50 25. The other person brings in their 25, so you don't have to, I mean, bring all the 50 at once from your end. Also, it is a shared financial responsibility. Again, if the repayment for, let's say, $50,000 was, let's say, $1,000 every month, once you're sharing with someone, then your repayments also become lower. Yes, like I said, you also have increased affordability and then higher borrowing power. Now, the downside of it is that you both have a joint liability in the case that one person stops paying the loan. So if it is AC and Priscilla that apply gauge, we know that is AC and Priscilla. That the repayments are not coming because AC paying hers or Priscilla is not paying hers. You same responsibility towards the loan. So will not tell the bank that, oh, it's AC who's not paying hers. No, I am going to hound AC just like I'm going to be hounding Priscilla, although she may have been making her payments. So that's a joint liability. Now, if you miss a credit, it affects both of you, your credit scores. So if one, although it's a joint application, and one person fails to make a repayment, and as such, it affects the repayment to the bank, it will also affect your credit score. So you may be contributing, and then the other person is not. It then goes against you because it's a joint application. Now, there's difficulty exiting a joint application. That's the downside of it. So, if assuming there was divorce or there was disputes or one of you, I mean, one person dies, then it's a bit complicated having to, because then it's a mortgage and it's in both of you your names. So then you would wonder, okay, so is a property divided into two equal parts? How is to be is a bit complex for joint application. And so it can bring a lot of legal and financial disputes. In cases where two people have a misunderstanding between themselves, then it becomes really murky. So that's the downside of joint mortgage. Then the last one is unequal contribution issues. One party, maybe between yourselves, you may say that, okay, so I have a salary of, let's say, 2,000 and you have a salary of 1,000. I don't mind paying 200 pounds every month, and I don't mind if you paid 100 pounds. You may understand each other now, but in the future, if any disputes arises, then it goes like, okay, but I pay more than you. So then
Yeah.
I have more power, I have more ownership in the property as compared to you. And
Mm.
it can be really murky. So have a joint mortgage, you should really check what your options are carefully before you apply for a joint mortgage. It sounds very easy, like I said, it sounds very juicy, because if you were buying a property that was very highly priced and then you can't afford it, it makes it easy, it increases your borrowing power. But the downsides are really murky and very difficult to deal with. It's also different from the case where you applied for a mortgage and then you wanted to register the property and then your spouse was there and then you added their name to the registration. That's not a joint mortgage. You can't do that. You can apply it solely and then later add your spouse at the registration stage. So you directly have your spouse in there during the qualification. So that's one of the issues with joint mortgages, but it's possible.
Wow, thank you. That is a very detailed answer. It's a very good point you made that it can actually affect your credit score. I never thought of it that way. But not to scare anyone, at least I think most of the time we all look at the cost effectiveness of it when two people are joining. But like Priscilla rightly said, just have a contract between you, your spouse, whoever it is, because you just never know what the future, how things will turn out in the future. So thank you. I'm not sure if Debbie is back. Debbie, you can alert me if you can take a question, but otherwise, the next question that I have here for you, Priscilla, is what is the mortgage repayment? I'm not sure whether you mentioned that.
Okay,
You answered that already. The period. What is the
the
mortgage
word.
period? What is the mortgage
Okay,
repayment period?
period. Okay, so for us at Access Bank, you have up to 15 years to service the loan. And I like that Debbie mentioned something on the property. So usually there's some properties, in fact, there's literally no freehold properties in Ghana. It's usually leasehold. So you have to check on the lease on the property you're buying. So don't just be carried away by the fact that, oh, I'm getting title, I'm getting, it may just be that the lease property is just about 30 years old and it will not inure to your benefit in any way. So what will happen is at the expiry of the period, you will have to repurchase that same property again, because then the lease on the land has expired. So for us at Access Bank, what we do is, I mean, in the 15-year period, we'll give you that's for you to be able to service the loan. But we also check, one of the very key things we check is to be sure that the lease on the property is not less than 40 years. I mean, those are a bit more complex. But when you bring the land title, we know what to check for and we know how to check for those things. It's just to protect you, really, because then the shorter the lease, the more expensive it is for you, and it's not beneficial to you in the long term. So I mean that's just about easy.
Thank you. At least it's good that the bank is always interested in the clients as well. You look out for the client. Thank you for that, Priscilla. Okay, I can see Debbie is back. Let me put her back on here. So, Debbie, there was a question that I had for you here. I know in your when you were doing your presentation, Debbie, um, the question is, do we need a lawyer for the contract with the caretaker?
No, you don't need a lawyer. You can just draft any agreement with the. You just draft an agreement, just showing that you haven't dashed the land, but you are aware that the caretaker is there, and that they are there for a period, and they will be paying this amount to show that they are. You have agreed with them. You don't need a lawyer for that, but just have an agreement.
So, in terms of the question, and this one really comes to you, Debbie, again. So, in terms of, I know many people say that, okay, is it just the deposit I'm paying for the property? If I'm buying a property, I know usually it's 20 to 30% deposit. Clients will have to make a deposit. But what are the other costs involved to get your property purchased?
Okay, so if you are not doing mortgage, if you are not doing mortgage and it's just to buy, you pay your initial deposit and all that, and then you pay if it is an off-plan property, you pay the payments as the plan goes on. But if it is a ready built property, then obviously you have to cough out the amount and pay for it. But if not, and then you are doing um mortgage, I think the mortgage have administration fee and all that you pay plus stamp duty. The stamp duty you cannot dodge it. Even if you don't do mortgage and you are doing normal purchasing, when you finish, you have to pay for stamp duty to register your property in terms of it to be in your name. So the what you would be paying would be after you've paid the amount to us, you pay your stamp duty to the government. There is ground rent that you would pay. That doesn't come to us. It also goes to the government. So the other amounts that you'll be paying will not be amount that will be coming to us. They are mostly amount that you'll be paying to perfect your documentation in your name. So that goes to the lands commission, lands title. Then you would do your the site plan. We would most of the time developers do it for you because they have to do the site plan in order to be able to do a deed for you. So most of the time, site plans you don't pay for it; it comes from the developer.
Okay.
Apart, and then maybe if you buy in a gated community, you pay things like service charge and the rest. But those are post sales cost
Charges,
that
yeah.
would come. It's not something that you pay during the sales period.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. I think there's another question here that I have from LJ, and that's for you, Priscilla. So I will bring you back here. Priscilla. So the question here is, what are your charges for an early repayment? If a client wants to, your mute, please.
Yes. Okay. So there are no penalties for prepayments for us at Access Bank. I know other banks charge, and that is to serve as a deterrent for, I mean, breaking the contract. But we don't charge that. We will give you back. You just pay us back the way you came. We'll just let you go back the same way. We don't do that. So there are no penalties for prepayments.
Okay, thank you. So in a case where a client has taken a mortgage from Access, and at the time they took it, they had a good job, they can pay the mortgage, and then maybe 6 months, 1 year down the line, they realize that maybe they've lost the job or they no longer cannot afford it. How does the bank or Access really help with that? How do you help the
Okay.
client?
So in this case, we call in the mortgage life insurance. So that's the essence of the insurance that you have. So insurance will pay the bank up to, I know it's up to a maximum of about 90 days. That's about 3 months till you get back into, I mean, another employment, or you get back. But if it is on medical grounds, I mean, it's also on credit life. So they are able to extend it for a limited period of time. But I doubt is over 6 months period. But for us as a bank, I mean, after we've, I mean, looked at all the options possible, we also try to give the customers some bit of leeway. So that's to maybe suspend the interest payments on the account, or maybe restructure the loan for, I mean, the shortest possible time till you get back on your feet. And then if that is beyond, let's say, like a year, where we feel that, or that you are not in a position to be able to service the loan, then you write to the bank, and then we'll see what actions we can take after. But I mean, the immediate action is not to say that we are coming to foreclose on the property. No, that's the last option.
That's really good to know, because I know most of the
You see,
time
I hope
people
I
are that.
answered you. Okay, that's
You
fine.
absolutely answered that, and I'm sure anyone with that question will be happy. Debbie, I'll bring you back on. There's a question here. So apart from let me bring Debbie back on. So apart from the property price, are there any property tax as well? Like, has Ghana
Yes,
introduced
yes. Currently, we have a VAT on property prices. I know that there is a discussion to take it off or to reduce it. But right now, currently, we have, I think, a 6% property tax that goes to the government, not to developers. So that is a property tax that goes to the government as well. And so at the end of paying for your property, um, you would have to pay that tax at least before you can even register your property. That tax has to be paid. But I know that there is discussions, ongoing discussion to be able to take off that property tax. I don't know, but currently we have property tax.
Okay, okay. Thank you. I think I have another question here. Let me just put it up. I think that's still for, I'm not sure whether it's for Debbie or Presta, but it says that how quickly can one view the property when the loan is approved? Oh, okay. So maybe Debbie, you can answer that. How quickly? I think that's a straightforward in terms of viewing. I'm not sure if viewing the property in terms of going to see it, because usually before the loan is approved, you would have chosen that property. But I'll leave you to answer that, Debbie.
Okay, so before even assets would give you the letter or the approval, themselves would even come and assess the property first, or any of the mortgage company, they will come and assess the property first. They will not just they will not base their comment on they will not base their assessment on what we have said, or what the developer said, or what the buyer said. They come there, they come and take pictures, they come with their valuers to come and see that it's true. So if you said the property was 200,000, assets will not just say that, okay, because you said it's 200,000, they are going to give you 200,000 cedis. No, $200,000 or no. They come and evaluate themselves. So it's not based on what we are saying, but it's based on after their assessment. So for viewing, you would have viewed, the bank would have viewed before you would even get your approval, and then the disbursement. And the moment you get your disbursement, you have access to your property.
Yeah, thank you so much. I have a comment here from Kweku Ahinkrai saying that I think 1 hour is not enough for this webinar. I totally agree. But you know what you can do? Anybody that needs further questions, book a free consultation. Any other questions, or we can do a part two. Who knows? We can discuss that. But having said that, too, with Prop Rent Sale, every month there is something that a new topic that we address on helping clients and people in the diaspora buy property. So there are different. So just subscribe to the YouTube channel or just send in an email contact, and then you will be informed of any new webinars that we have coming up. I do appreciate. We only have 3 minutes left. I'll just take the last question that has come in. Okay, I think I've asked that already. But yes, as I said, thank you so much, Priscilla, and I'll bring Priscilla back. Thank you so much, Priscilla and Debbie and Lilia. I think I'll bring everybody back on now. So maybe if you are happy, Lilia, I'm bringing you back on. But I'm just saying thank you to you all. Thank you, Lilia, for the opportunity to really bring this information to Ghana Union Association Luton. And I know it's not just your members that are in, we have different people from other places as well. The recording is also available. Anybody that did not join in, you can use the same link and also access it. If you have further questions, please do send them, and we will be happy to answer them. But like I said, there is property available for any budget, whether your budget is $50,000, $100,000, $200,000. There's a whole portfolio. Like Kweku said, 1 hour is not enough for property to go through the portfolio. We work with different developers with different packages and with discounts. So just book a free consultation. Happy to walk you through whether you want a place in Accra, Kumasi. There are different resorts, different developments that are happening, that this is the time really to get in the real estate market. So I don't know if anyone has any last remark to make. Maybe I'll start with Lilia. 30 seconds.
Okay. Thank you very much, AC, Debbie, and Priscilla.
Priscilla.
Thank you very much. I think I agree with Kweku. Next time, we probably have to make it 2 hours so we can ask more questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for your time, Debbie. I know someone has also said,
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Priscilla.
I'm getting ready to run away, so
I know you are all ready to move. But yes, thank you for your time. Fabstacia, I've seen your comment. She said, okay, next time I should do a Zoom so that it can be more interactive. You can ask the question. Yes, I've taken that on board. I will do that. But yes, thank you again. And I think it's a wrap.
Yeah. Thank
you. Contact PropRentSale for more information. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
bye.